Hey everybody, it's Dave here and Flip, and we're watching the end of this crazy game like everybody else. Join us. Talk about it. We're in scoring range. Oh, ha! And of course we're running the ball. There goes Cookers. I'm probably ahead of you, Flip, unless you got it live. Yes, Mary. Fuck! Pardon me. I just put my computer to sleep, which is never good. And we're back. Yes, Mary. It's never over till it's over. Sean, this game is over. Vikings will win. Wayne, thanks for joining us. Yeah, we better grind out the clock. There's a minute 19. We gotta score first. That's first and foremost. Put some points on the board. Okay. Okay, run the clock. If Green Bay doesn't want to take the timeout, run the clock. Run the clock. Yeah, which Joseph are we going to get here? Sean's goal. Let's see. Boom. There we go again. When is Green Bay going to take their timeout? Are they not? They're trying to help preserve some? Breathe, fellas. Breathe. Thank you, Colin. It's been hard to breathe this game. I don't know what's up with this version of this team. They stress my heart every single frickin' game. Those that bet the over, you're happy. Yeah, of course, to the Vikings, it always comes down to the last moment. Flip, we're commercial. What are you thinking? Flip, you're awful quiet. You're behind. You're streaming, aren't you? Ah. God, this is crazy. Joseph. He's from the right hash. Lining it up. One eye closed, one eye open. Doing the hand point thing. And they call a timeout to ice the kicker. When does that ever work? The underusage of 17 is unreal. Oh, Wayne, we did use him quite a bit in the second half. What did he have? He had 4 targets, only 1 reception. Oh, Zune. Vikes tradition wide right. I hope not. G-Mac. Will Zimmer murder a kicker? If he misses, we go to overtime. And it kicks up, and it is good. No time left on the clock. The Vikings win. The Vikings win. How about that? I got to turn that up a little bit. Got to hear it one more time. Vikings win. Vikings win. All right, we're going to hit the roll in real quick. Stay tuned. Me and Flip are going to go over the results of this game.
I'm ready.
Let's do this. It was glory. That roll-in's way too long. I need to trim it down. Skol, everybody! Vikings win.
Skol.
Vikings win.
Vikes.
Last second on a Joseph kick. How about that? What do you think, Flip?
W's in the chat. Let's see it. Clifford, G Mac, Alan Ives, Stephen from Australia. Let's go. The Minnesota Vikings beat their hated rivals, the Green Bay Packers, 34-31 in Week 11. Our team is back to 500, and we send that team back from Wisconsin. We send them back home packing with a big fat loss. This team feels like it can play with anybody right now, Dave.
It does. It absolutely does. They have the talent if they can put it together and not do the stop. Oh, we're going to take a play off. Ooh, first down stuff. They have the talent. Oh, especially Justin Jefferson.
Let's start with the highlights. Justin Jefferson.
Having Justin Jefferson on our team is a treat. Literally. I mean, we've gone through Reed, Carter, Anthony Carter, Chris Carter, both of those Carters, Randy Moss, and now maybe the best of them all, Justin Jefferson, when it's all said and done. And they're finally utilizing him, and it's fantastic. Hey, you want to know Justin's stats? He was targeted 10 times, caught 8, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns, and that's just the pass end. On the running end, he had 3 yards. Not so big a deal.
3 yards, a little catch on the Zampezi out of the backfield for his first score, and then just the whirling dervish, the balance on that Kirk Cousins hot strike deep ball. Justin Jefferson spins once to make the catch, spins again into the end zone to give the Vikings that 7-point lead. The Vikings go for 2. Dow hits the corner pylon to go up by 7.
Hey,
they let up that deep score at the end, but the fact remains Justin Jefferson with his 11th 100-yard game in his first 2 seasons, tying Randy Moss's record on that account. And yes, you have to talk about this guy in the same breath as Randy Moss. You have to mention him in the same sentence as Chris Carter, as Ahmad Rashad. He is one of the Vikings' great wide receivers, and this is just his second year in the league. He's young. Let's see those W's in the chat for Justin Jefferson, baby.
That was for Chris Anderson and is still fire Zimmer. I'm sorry, not after today. We'll postpone that talk for another week. He pulled out another win. Yeah. And I was about to go find Warren Ludford, a friend of the show. Warren, good friend of the network, writer, outstanding writer on Daily Norseman. He said at the beginning of the fourth quarter, Vikings are 43-1 when they enter the fourth quarter with the lead. Well, I said, Warren, and if you make it 43-2, and I left it ... He didn't. We're not 44-1 under Mike Zimmer.
44-1 when we enter the fourth quarter with a league under Mike Zimmer. More W's in the chat for Kirk Cousins. What a day from Kirk Cousins. Maybe his best day as a professional. I mean, it wasn't just Justin Jefferson. Adam Thielen got involved. Tyler Conklin had some key first downs. 9.7 yards per attempt for Kirk Cousins. 341 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Yes, he had
and
that
not a single one of his interceptions counted.
Nope, none of those interceptions counted, baby. So Kirk Cousins, high QBR, 128 quarterback rating. He went tit for tat with Aaron Rodgers and won. Let's go.
Won, yes. And it was in our house. We beat them where we played better on the road all this season. We beat them in our house in front of our crowd, and you got to hand it to the crowd. I don't care. There was
Crowd was
obviously
loud.
some green in it, but they were loud. You could hear it
Yeah.
across the TV broadcast.
Man,
Wade, I'm drinking beer today, buddy.
Clint Kubiak had some great play call designs today. I loved it. It seemed like he was
Creative.
up to the task. Creative, just like LaFleur. You saw it on both sides of the ball. Really fun game to watch just because the offense was going and it was fun, exciting plays, wire to wire. Dave, I do have to ask you, what were your lowlights from this game?
My low lights is, and
You
I was
won.
talking to Mary during the game, we need to find a center. I am tired of our center being forklifted back into Kirk Cousins' lap. Doesn't matter. Bradbury, Cole, the results are the same. We need a center.
Well, I mean, I tell you, they just showed Garrett Bradbury on the sideline. They're like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. You weren't good. You got COVID and you lost your job. That's the American story right now, man. You'll get another chance, but you got to earn it back. And
especially if you lost weight during COVID. You've got to
yeah.
You got to work at it, unless you are absolutely blessed by circumstance or by talent, you've got to work at it. Everybody does.
Yeah. And hey, when they're winning these games, they're 2-0 and the run game is struggling before and after him. So, we'll see. I understand that's a low light. We got a week to figure it out, and that's for sure.
Now, you want to hear one of my favorite?
No, I'm not done talking about my low light. I mean,
you talk about your low light.
We haven't talked about the defense, and we're playing Aaron Rodgers, so you need to pressure him. You need to get him off center. You can't give him time in the pocket. The second you see Aaron Rodgers outside of the pocket, that's a touchdown throw to Davante Adams. It's just not something we can be surprised about at this point. So it's really hard to see Everson Griffin have a silent game. DJ Wanham have a pretty silent game. They got pressures every now and again, but we really saw Aaron Rodgers just, the Cowboys did a great job of even picking up the blitzes too, and that really hurt the defense. We have to figure out a way to get a better pass rush, especially when you're playing the best quarterbacks in the league.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Brian says Cole has his flaws, but he's better than Bradbury.
I agree, Brian. I
am not so sure about that, but okay. I think it's half of one, sixth of the other. Obviously, the absolute stars of the game were Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins today. But I'm going to stick with a round belly. One of my favorite plays and multiple plays was Ezra Cleveland today. He was driving fourth and on that walk-in by Cook on the goal line earlier in the game. You saw him drive his guy back, and he fell to his knees, and he was driving off his knees to push him even farther. That, my friend, is what a offensive lineman should do, and that was outstanding.
Yeah, that offensive line playing game too. A lot of those issues on the offensive line were due to penalties. Mm-hmm. And while we didn't see the best run blocking day, while Kirk was under pressure a little bit, the penalties were gone. There were no massive holding penalties to take back a first down. We didn't have false starts. We've seen that be an issue with the offensive line in past games. So it was a clean football game up front. You're not going to win every play. You're going to crush some plays like Ezra Cleveland did on that Dalvin Cook 2-point conversion. But yeah, I mean, we came into this game, everybody wanted to talk about the Packers defense. They just shut out Russell Wilson. Man, they didn't look that good today. That's all I know. They did not look that good today. The Vikings leave this brutal 4-game stretch with 2 wins and 2 losses. Maybe the best you could hope for. I mean, I'm saying that coming off the 2 wins, things were looking pretty grim there at 3-5, but now they're back to 500. We'll see how the schedule breaks for them the rest of the way.
Yep. And speaking of which, who have we got next?
Who we got
Pittsburgh?
next? It's hard to look past Packers week.
I know. That's it. It's just it. Hey, guys.
We are
watching.
at we are at San Francisco,
Which should be a good game.
November 28th. Maybe I should go to that game.
That should be a good game. And then it's what? Pittsburgh after that.
Daniel's asking about the pass protection. Dave just commented on that. Cliff, I'm going to be honest. I predicted 1-3. This is definitely a surprise to see the Vikings at 500 with a win over Green Bay. You would hope that puts them back in the NFC North race. They probably are a little too far behind the Packers to challenge for the NFC North crown. But yes, I think when you get to 500, that's rule number one. That's when you can start talking about the playoff picture and how the Vikings factor into that. So really happy about the win today. Really happy to just see our stars play like stars and our coaches lean on our best players to deliver a win at home.
And yes, GMAC says national TV audience. It wasn't quite all national, but it was over 3/4 national. Even I got to watch it live, which was wonderful. You talk about we're talking about playoffs, right? Our playoff chances just jumped a huge amount. We just beat, for those that want to know, we just beat the number 1 seed in the NFC. The number 1 seed. So
yeah, the Cowboys were cheering for us today.
The Vikings have talent if they can put it together. It seems to me that they are starting to put things together, both on offense and on defense. Though, there's times on the defense we had lapses.
Yep.
We shall see. What did you think of Patrick Peterson when he went out prior to the first half? I thought he re-aggravated that hammy, and we won't see him for another 3 games.
Yeah.
He came back in. Was that a smart move?
Yeah, I think you need to get him back on the field. I think it's good to have your best players out there if they can go. I don't think it was risky as far as how he played. I didn't see anything that popped out on my first watch. I'm watching it live, so I'm hooting and hollering. I don't see all the details. But Patrick Peterson didn't really pop onto the screen for me too much. I was just happy to see him back out there. And, we can't get overly conservative when you're 4-5 and you're playing you're playing the Green Bay Packers. You've got to do everything you can to win that game if that man is healthy. So good to see him back on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Same with Harrison Smith now.
Yeah. Hitman missed a tackle. I wish he had gotten, but the defense at times shut them down. Absolutely shut them down. And then would generally let them go and they'd get a first down, which was frustrating, but hopefully we get that. Clifford, why didn't Bynum go in for Woods? Woods played his worst game. Do you think so?
Yeah, I don't think you can really put it all on Xavier Woods. He wasn't perfect in coverage. I think just the lack of pressure is a big part of it, like I said before. And when it comes to Cam Bynum, you have to remember that guy is a rookie and he's a backup. We wanted to see him on the field. He actually was on the field for a little bit. The Vikings did a 3-safety look a few times in that game to get Cam Bynum onto the field and get Harrison Smith down into the box. So, I haven't seen enough from Cam Bynum to just automatically bench the starter, but I do like how they're working him onto the field more and more.
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt. What did you think of them moving Sheldon Richardson out to defensive end?
Anything they can do to get pressure, man.
Mm-hmm.
Anything they
Definitely.
can do. I'm not going to overreact and say that just because he got 1 sack, it was the right move, but man, they're really struggling. I did catch that GMAC talking about how great Green Bay's defense is. They can't cover Justin Jefferson, man. Justin Jefferson made him look like a fool. You see that that Adam Thielen catch to set up the game-winning field goal. It looked like a mini Minnesota Miracle, man, the way he caught that ball, defender spinning around his own head, and Adam Thielen staying in bounds to get us in the field goal range. I'm not scared of the Green Bay Packers defense. It's hard to be after a game like that. If our offense is clicking, they're playing clean football, not drawing penalties. Let's skull Vikes. Let's put this offense up against the best in the league. I want to see it week in, week out, and I can't wait to go to San Francisco next week.
I got a question. Do you have, and to everybody in the chat have, that obnoxious Green Bay fan that you have to go to work with?
Me?
Yeah, do you have?
Man, I don't even know these Packers fans because all these people say they roll with Green Bay. I can't even tell. Some of them live in Arizona. Some of them live in Kentucky.
They live all over.
I can't tell a real Packers fan from a fake one. So they can go. They can just weep and eat their milk and cheese curds back in Wisconsin for the ones that actually live there. The other ones don't really care. They're not going to come at me this week. That's for sure.
Well,
if you do have that fan, it's time to let them know that Aaron Rodgers needs a haircut and a better attitude, among many other things. Tell them that.
Yep. And own them this week and enjoy it, because this is probably moving into one of the best victory weeks we've had in a very long time, because the Vikings are back in it. They're not great, but they could still win this. Believe it or not, I don't want to say it. They could theoretically still win the division. They're back in the playoff hunt. They're back to 500. Let's hope they keep it up. Hey, let's take the first half of the season and go, hey, it's just they were getting in the groove type deal.
No, I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. They were not. It can't take you 8 games to get in a groove, man. It can't. This is the NFL we're talking about.
I don't care if it winds up getting into playoffs and going on a long run, and that they are at their peak then. I'll take it, even though my heart can't. I think it was Clifford earlier talking about he almost had to take his nitroglycerin for his heart. It's why can't we just do like the Seattle game, just blow them out and call it good? I was hoping for that today, but of course not. We still have the problem of letting the other team score within 2 minutes of the first half. They've now scored, 58 points, 57 points, some bullshit like that. And that's the difference between us being at 500 and us being close to the number 1 seed. If they could stop that, if the defense can stop that, we're winning more games.
Well, and again, it's the penalties too. The Vikings they went into this game as the second most penalized team in the NFL. We do not talk about this enough. The penalties are a big factor. Everybody likes to talk about the 2-minute defense. Everybody likes to talk about the conservative play calling. Equally as big, let's talk about the penalties. Stop the holding, stop the false starts, stop the pass interference. This team will produce wins. So that's part of the equation. The play calling didn't change that much today. They were balanced between the run and the pass. The 2-minute defense didn't change that much today. They allowed a touchdown right before halftime, and they allowed a score with 2 minutes and 17 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The thing that changed today and helped them win a tight game against the Green Bay Packers is they played clean football. They avoided the penalties, and that's really important. I hate how it's a cliche, but it is really important to see this team play clean football games.
Mm-hmm. Clifford or Daniel asked, the rest of the season, do they go 5-2? Now let's look forward. It's part of our format. Next week we have San Francisco in San Francisco, which is going to be an interesting game. It's 3:25 in the afternoon. So, it's, San Francisco's been coming back. They're good, they're bad. They're much like every other team in the NFC. They are doing well. It should be interesting. Then we have Detroit at. Then we go on the road again to Detroit for the noon game the following week, which should be
one game at a time. One game at a time. You know, the 49ers are 5-5. We're 5-5. To go 5-2 down the stretch would basically mean, you would have to look at the losses first rather than the wins.
Well, that's why I was going over the teams. We got San Francisco, Detroit, Pittsburgh, Chicago, the Rams, the Packers again, the Bears again.
They got the Rams at home on the day after Christmas, and they have the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay 2 days after the New Year. Those are the two key games. So that's why I say focus on this next game, because if they lose to the 49ers, it's going to be really hard for them to go 5-2 down the stretch.
Now, Clifford just said he got a notification. That, by the way, is the 500th regular season win in our team's history since 1961. That's not bad.
That's good. Blow the horn. You gotta y'all a horn. You can blow for the 500th win.
There we go.
Number 500. W's in the chat. You know, I don't want to be here next week sitting at 5-6 with a loss to the San Francisco 49ers. So it's just one game at a time. See ourselves move up in those standings just a little bit. You know, maybe the Buccaneers lose tomorrow. Maybe the Arizona Cardinals drop a game here this afternoon. And then we can start talking about maybe getting some of those higher seeds. But it's hard at this point because we're not getting a playoff home game unless we win the NFC North. So going on the road, now we got to see, is this a team that can go on the road and win a tough fought game? And that's exactly what we get to see next week when they play the San Francisco 49ers.
You got it. Any last words before we wrap this show up and send the great viewers on to their next destination?
Hey, it's good to be 500. I hope everybody enjoyed that win against the Green Bay Packers. The hated Green Bay Packers. Ain't none of y'all those cheeseheads going to be saying anything to you this week. And maybe you should think about saying something to them. Love the win. Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson. Whew. Sunday, baby. What a great Sunday. Skol Vikes.
It is. I always grew up. There was 3 things that required to be a successful season. First one, beat the Packers. Second one, beat the Packers. Third one, make the playoffs. Right? And we are on our way. First part of that is checked off the list. I want everybody to enjoy their week. Climbing the Pocket will be here, should be here all week. I apologize for their lack of shows last week. Hopefully our host will rectify that this week and we'll be full of some Vikings football talk for you to join us every day except for Friday. Unless you want to talk Friday, then come talk to me and we'll set something up. Anyways, all of you, stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy your favorite beverage, and then go watch some other favorite post-game shows. I'm off to One Bar in Lumpicus, my personal favorite beyond this one. So, y'all have a great week, and Skol Vikings!
Skol Vikes. I couldn't watch that last kick, but he made it! Skol Vikes!
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And if you're listening on your favorite aggregator, make sure you rate us. And always feel free to join the conversation here at Climbing the Pocket. Skol, everybody.